Hello everybody, welcome back to Sector 1. We are here tonight for the season finale of Season 10. It is of course here at Deep Forest Raceway. My name is Lenosis and joining me in the commentary box this evening is your Adelaide Ceramic Coatings Category 2B Race Director. It is the Banker. How are we doing tonight, Banker?
Helenosis, really, really good. Been watching these guys race around for about an hour, and I can tell you there's about 3 tenths over at least six of the drivers. So we are in for a very, very good finale.
Yeah, no worries. That's what we like to hear. It should be a great night of racing. But before we get into things, let's have a quick look at our track map for this evening. It is, of course, Round 8, the finale of Season 10. Like the entire season, it will be a 10-minute qualifying, followed by a 30-lap race with racing soft tyres and racing mediums are the choice of tyre for this evening. We have 3 times tyre wear, 4 times fuel usage with a refuel rate of 2 litres per second. And now the Deep Forest layout. It is 15 turns over 4.25 kilometers, 3 sectors around this circuit. A very tight and technical track through that middle sector, but the first and last sectors, they're very power hungry straights. I think we're going to see a bit of a fuel saving race tonight. And lots of overtakes. I mean, the long straights and these cars, they're not the quickest. It really makes a good recipe for some great racing. Isn't that right, Banker?
Yeah, absolutely. Couple of long straights in it that'll really bring the slipstream into play. I think the main straight's around nearly 800 meters. And there's also that back straight, but it's the undulating here. And on those straights too, it's the slipstream's not only for overtaking, it's also presents some great fuel save opportunities. But yeah, it's a deceptive track. It's given the nature of the corners that it has and the undulation, it's actually quite difficult to drive quickly. But yeah, definitely perfect line through the 18 corners will be what's required.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll just have a quick look at our strategy for this evening. Now, we're not too confident on the strategy for tonight, so don't take this graphic as the Bible. But we have 2 main strategies for everyone tonight. We have the medium to soft, or we have the 2-stop soft all the way strategy. Now, I'm not too sure on that second strategy because you're going to lose a lot of time in the pits. But I definitely think we might see some variation on the strategy sometime throughout the next 2 races. But yeah, I don't know. It's up in the air. We're not too sure how things are going to play out tonight. But yeah, I'm sure everyone will have done their research and knows what they're going to be doing tonight. Isn't that right, Banker?
Yeah, and look, the tyre choice will be interesting. We've seen in our normal 45-minute races that medium softs work. But also, given the way the mediums have really come into play with this car during the season, we could even see a medium type combination on a one stop. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. The fuel will definitely allow it. So yeah, and track position, I guess, will be the other issue that makes a driver decide.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's have a look at the current standings in the championship. So this is how Category 2 is shaped up at the moment. Big J leads the way with one hand on the title already. Revs is hoping to put a stop to that tonight. I believe he is still within contention. Budsy sits in 3rd after missing out last race due to a technical issue. Freelix in 4th, Grovel 5th, Black Project 6th, Blind Man 7th, Carbon Boy 8th, Bumcrack 9th, The Stranger 10th, BF 11th, Greg's 12th, The Boss 13th, and Petey Pop's there in 14th. That will be Group A. They will be coming up in the second half of the evening. But as of right now, this is the situation. We have Laminator there in 15th, Wartime, Good Doc, Malevolent 1, Dobrev, Keza, Renegade, Rudzi. Then we have, sorry, 1 second, I need my reading glasses. Madrick, Cruisin', Prua, Superfun Happy, Rainbow Socks, and Killer on the Loose. The 2 Lightning drivers will be out tonight, and I believe we are missing Renegade's back, so we have 12.
Yeah, he's managed to make it back.
Cool.
Yep.
And here is how things are shaping up in the team's title. Going to the final round, It's very, very tight. Kraken Esports sits atop of the pile with just a slim lead of 2 points over Ironheart Sim Sport. It really is anyone's game here over the next week or so. Brocchio 5 Sim Racing sits third. They are the reigning champions. They're gonna have to pull something out of the bag in the final round to take the team's title. Then we have Dadson in 4th, Thunder 5th, which is great in their debut season. CP Motorsports 6th, Blacklight 7th, APR 8th, Doghouse 9th, Switchblade 10th, Hooncorp 11th. Then we have Lightning in 12th, Black Rose 13th, and Symmetry Motorsport in 14th. So that's the situation going into the last round. Couple of interesting storylines, isn't there, Banker?
Yeah, definitely. If you look at in this category, there's only about 6 points for the third spot in this category, between about 6 or 7 drivers. So that part will be really challenging. And the other part of it is just how competitive these guys have been in practice. Madrick, who's sitting midfield in that points table, was the quickest and got into the 35s. So setting an absolute cracking pace.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, all that Big J really has to do to wrap up the title tonight is take that or finish the race really. But then in category 2B, it's more about sheep stations here tonight. But racing that we've had this season, it's been up and down at times in this Adelaide Ceramic Coatings field. But yeah, hoping to have a good night of racing here tonight, aren't we, Banker?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think it will be. The guys are primed. The grand final always brings out a lot because, it's their last opportunity to show what they can do before the break for season 11. So I don't think they'll leave anything in the tank at all.
Absolutely. So I think the next question is, what have you painted the button for the final time this season, Banker?
Traditionalist, green.
Oh, big green button. Here we go.
Yep.
So what do you
absolutely.
say we smash that big green button and jump straight into the 10-minute qualifying for Category 2B, brought to you by Adelaide Ceramic Coatings.
Okay, buttons pushed. Qualifying's underway with about 6 seconds before it's live.
Here we go. I just want to take the time to say hello to everybody in the race chat tonight. We have PD Pops, Evolution Sim Racing, Shadow Racing, Mr. Bumcrack, Archangel, Aussie Sim Racing, Killer of the Loose, The Stranger, Deborah Fish. Thanks for joining us, everybody. It's going to be a great night of racing, that's for sure. The drivers make their way out on track for the first time, or the final time, I should say, in a qualifying session this season. It's been a pretty fun season.
And Madrick's first car out, he was the one to dip into the high 35s in practice. Very, very quick tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had a bit of an up and down season in that he's enjoyed races in both category 2A and 2B. I guess you could say to be or not to be. But yeah, he's every time he's raced in this category 2B field, he's always proved his pace and driven very well. He would still be up in Group A if it wasn't for his disconnect at Nürburgring earlier in the season. Rather unfortunate for him, but still high hopes heading to the end of the season. Still has the opportunity to grab some silverware.
Yep, and one thing I did notice through qualifying, pretty much everyone dropped their fastest lap on the third lap out. So out lap then, it was on their second flyer. That would be, I guess, where coming into the pits would be the go. I didn't actually see any pit stops and a longer quali run. But if the case, third lap, they're in the pits, I definitely think you'll see quite a few drop into that 35s. So yeah, pitting on the fourth, I think, for a lot, unless they're purple.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just riding on board with Madrick at the moment as he completes the first sector now through the S's. Just behind him, we have Cruiser and 4 Switchblade Sim Sport it will be his last ever race in the team colours, as the team will be folding at the end of the season. They've been a staple of Sector 1 for a long time now, known for a long time as Deeds, sponsored by the brewery. But Season 10 will be the last for the foreseeable future for Switchblade Sim Sports. Just behind him, we have Good Doc. And I hear some rumours that they may have locked down a new title sponsor for next season, but not going to give too much away for now. Behind them, we have Archangel for Symmetry Motorsport running the number 46, and he does have a new decal on the side of that orange and black car. It says, "Keep fighting, James," who is a viewer of the stream and fan of the team. Just behind him, we have Prua, the number 23. He's been off doing some real-life racing, so he finds himself down the bottom of this category 2B field for this season. But that doesn't take away from his racing spirit. So the first few laps are coming in now, as Madrick crosses the line, 1:36.4, start things off. If that's anything to go, if what Baker said earlier is anything to go by, I think he's got a lot more than that left in the tank. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's a very handy banking lap.
As Prua goes to P2, as more times tumble in here. And
actually really good start there from Prua and Cruisen.
Right up the top there.
We know what both those drivers are capable of in close racing, so yeah, very promising start.
As Wartime goes fourth, that's a pretty decent lap to start things off here for Wartime. He's driven quite well the last few races. I believe he won at Alsace, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did. And I think it was his first Sector 1 win in the main game.
That's pretty good. Hoping to go 2 on the trot here tonight is Wartime. Let's see what he can do in qualifying. Behind, or ahead of him, but behind him in position is his BSR teammate Keza.
And just entering Sector 3, Prua is fastest. This could be a very good lap for him.
Let's see, as Madrick will be the first. Oh no, Madrick's into the pits on lap number 3. As Rudzi does improve to 6th position there. Super Fun happy to P2. That's a great lap from him. Cruisen goes quicker than Prua. What can Prua pull out of the bag as he crosses the line momentarily? Goes to
a PB,
P3.
but not quite there. Still only 3/10 between the top 3 and 1/10 back to Keza.
Very tight margins at the moment. Not much separating second to 5th, as the 2 Brocky cars are working together by the looks of things. Mr. Brev will peel into the pits. Archangel peels into the pits. And Super Fun happy to the top of the times. What a lap from the Ironheart fill-in.
Incredible. And I think his 3rd race in this division.
4th race in Sector 1. And he's already at the top of the times. Can he hold on to it by the end of the session? He's knocking on the back door of the 135s.
We'll just get his time through the first split. He's pretty much in line with where he was, 0.09 of a tenth off. Sorry, of a second.
Down to the bottom of the track now.
Yeah, I'd say if he's not up on his time as he hits Sector 3, that's probably the opportune time to pit with just under 3.5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, absolutely. Now the next question is, will Madrick be able to find his way up the order? He's currently got a 36.4, which is 0.2 off pole position, and he's just pit for brand new tyres. Prua to P2. That's a great lap from Prua on his 3rd flyer.
So we've got Cruisen in the pits, Wartime in the pits. As you said, it's quite a long pit run through here. So, and you've also got to be very careful on the exit. Those pit lines are very tight and unforgiving.
Riding on board with Madrick now as he rounds the first turn up through the S's. Gets it turned in, a little bit of a lift just to stabilise the car. Lots of coasting through there, trying to just keep that mid-corner speed up. Battling the understeer for Madrick. On the power now through turn 6. He is up on his time as well. Oh, that was very close to a penalty for track limits there over the crest. And
very
into
quick
the
through that
hairpin.
section.
Onto the backstretch now. We have to wait for the sector split. What's it going to be? As he's about to go by. What's the story? He's up by 3/10. Oh my goodness.
Pearl.
This is going to be a stonking lap from Madrick if he can hold it. Oh, misses the apex a little. But I don't think that's going to hold him up too much. He gets quite a good exit on the power. Down towards the line.
He's running down the right-hand side, which gets you that most of the downhill benefit.
Up towards the line. What's it going to be for Madrick? Does he go to pole? Yes, he does, by a 10th. He lost 2/10 in the final sector, but that doesn't keep him away from the top position, as everyone's going to get one more chance at a lap here.
Yeah, we've got Super Fun Happy just coming up through turn 14. So this is his out lap, so he'll get one flyer.
Yeah, absolutely. Ran a little deep into the hairpin too, so I think just trying to get that late apex, maximising that exit down towards that first turn, using every last 10th of a second, 100th of a second. As he starts his flying lap. What can he do? The Ironheart driver stamps on the brake pedal into the first turn, gets it tipped in. Very neat and tidy there. Up towards the S's over the crest.
He just had a bit of a moment there. I think it was on turn 10. A little bit sideways. That would have cost him a couple of tenths. Yep, he's 0.185 down.
As Super Fun Happy is purple through the first sector, but he runs really wide through turn 7. What can he do now? Over the crest, down over the bridge. Stamps on the brake pedal, gets it turned in. Onto the back straight now. This will be the final lap for everyone in this session. Not seeing any improvements at the moment, but for Super Fun Happy, can he get the pole position? Madrick, he's put 4/10 on the field. So Super Fun Happy has got to find something. He's only got 2/10 at the moment. What can he find through the last quarter? Into the hairpin. He knows what he needs to find. 2/10 is the goal. Gets it turned in. Wartime to P3.
Wartime up to 3rd.
Malevolent one to 5th. But all eyes are on Super Fun Happy as he rounds down the bottom of the hill towards the finish line. What can he do?
Very tight through there.
It's going to be so tight. 35. Oh, he goes within 2/10.
2/10.
I think that's all she wrote for qualifying.
Yep, all cars should have crossed.
I think Rudzi exited back to pits there, so we will have to
pits. Yep.
wait out the duration of the timer. But yeah, definitely an interesting session. Madrick managed to get that pole in the end over Super Fun Happy, who came ever so close in the end. Wartime will be starting from 3rd. Yeah, definitely. From the start of that session, things got shaken up towards the end and kept us on our toes. That's what we like to see. So make sure to throw your race predictions down below based on that qualifying. And if you haven't already, make sure to smack the like button and subscribe to the Sector 1 YouTube channel for more racing action, as we're about to get into season 11. But yeah, so Madrick takes pole position. What a lap from Madrick. Puts 2.5 tenths over Super Fun Happy. I mean, after, well, you said that he was the only driver in the 35s, and he not only in the 35s, he's well and truly in the 35s. A 35.8, 2 tenths into the 35s. So let's have a look at the official qualifying results, how they'll be lining up in a moment's time. So Madrick takes pole position, a 35.817, 2.34 tenths ahead of Super Fun Happy, who will join him on the front row of the grid. We have Wartime third with Brewer in fourth. Malevolent One will be starting fifth with Cruisin in sixth. Rudzi in seventh. Keza eighth. Debrev ninth. Archangel 10th. The Good Doc 11th. And Renegade will be starting from the rear. So, what do you make of that session, Banker? What are your pointers going into the 30-lap race that's ahead of us?
Definitely Madrick's outright pace. So that was about 0.12 quicker than he did earlier on. But critically, the other guys have all improved their times by a similar margin as well. I think once the race starts, Super Fun Happy, really impressed with his form last race. Just trying to think, I think it was P5, P4. This time, I think you'll see him fighting for the podium. Certainly Wartime, last race winner. But, geez, look at the list behind. Brewer, Malevolent One, Cruisin, Rudzi, Keza, Debrev, the Good Doc, the Archangel, Renegade. There are a lot of quick drivers in this division. So, yeah, I think the podium's by no means certain, and they've got to get through 30 laps without a mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's lots of storylines up and down the grid. I mean, as you said, Madrick qualifying on pole with extraordinary pace. And then you have Super Fun Happy, which I believe it's his best qualifying position in Sector 1 of a P2. We have Wartime, who normally qualifies towards the front of this Category 2B field. And then we've got Brewer, who will be looking to make indents towards the in the next 30 laps. I believe he can go on and get a podium potentially. But yeah, I mean, as you said, there's a long list of names a little further down the field who are really going to put pressure on those front guys and hopefully try and push for that podium or top 5. But yeah, so
yeah,
what is...
I think with the slipstream capability around here, given the closeness of the field, that fuel and strategy will play a part in the outcome, I feel.
Strategy will be a big part of this race. I mean, the last time we raced on this track back in Season 6, it was definitely a strategy race. You could have gone for the undercut or the overcut to try and gain a bit of time. And I don't think that's very car specific, as we ran very different cars back in Season 6. I think it's very track specific. This track, if you've burnt out your tyres, you're really going to have to pull a few strategy cars to try and pull yourself back.
Absolutely,
so
and the right-hand front and left-hand rear are the ones that will come into play. Sorry, right-hand front, right-hand rear seem to be where rates are at the moment.
So what do you say we smash that big green button and get started for our Adelaide Ceramic Coatings Category 2B race around Deep Forest?
Absolutely. The button has been pushed. 7 seconds. Very interesting start too, because it's you've got the downhill section into a flowing third gear corner. So with 12 cars, it's going to be a really fast first corner into the race.
Absolutely. As the drivers line up on the grid. And the light sequence does begin. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, revs rising. And we're out of racing here at Deep Forest. As Madrick, he's missed the start. I don't know what he's done, but he's bogged it off the start. And it looks like Super Fun Happy and Wartime are going to go toe-to-toe into the first turn. Who's it going to be? I think Super Fun Happy, he has the inside line, but it's going to be Wartime who sweeps around the outside. Still not clear who is the leader at the moment. It is Wartime as he sweeps on by into turn 2 and turn 3. It looks like the field has made it through nice and steady at the moment. As we see a little bit of rustle and tussle.
Down to P7. Not the start he'd be wanting.
He has had an absolute mare of a start. Madrick, I'm not too sure what has happened. But yeah, absolutely bogging the car off the line and finds himself far down the order at the start of this one. But the big winner in all that is Wartime, who has a 6/10 gap over Super Fun Happy at the early stages of this race. There's still a long way to go, but that race start has massive implications into the next 45 minutes for these guys. So Madrick.
Very importantly, we've got everyone away from the start and all clear on the first lap.
That's very good to hear. We love to see it. As we see a couple of moves in the background. Malevolent One just ahead of Rudzi and Madrick. Madrick already making moves, or trying to at least. Trying to stick it to Rudzi in the early stages of this race, and he's going to get it done. And now, can he keep this forward momentum and make another move onto Malevolent One into the first turn? He's got the slipstream. The two Black Rose cars flying in formation as they head down to complete the first lap. Will we see a move from Madrick? It's left to be. Oh, as he goes defensive there, Malevolent One. But I think Madrick's going to try and sweep around the outside. Can he get it done? I don't think he's got enough drive out of the corner to hold on to it for now. As they're going to hold it in formation for the time being. Back up front, we've got Super Fun Happy, who is trying to hold that position to Wartime, who is leading the race currently by 6/10. Brewer goes up to third, but he's under a lot of pressure from the Switchblade car of Cruisin'. So they head down over the bridge now.
Yeah, and Madrick, he's got a fair race ahead of him here. Malevolent One in front, Rudzi behind, putting equal amount of pressure on. So one slip up from any of those three drivers and significant change in position.
So do we have a mix of tyres in the field, Banker?
Yep, we do. We've got...
Oh! As Madrick, he's run deep and he's lost 2 positions. He's lost one to Rudzi and one to Madrick. That's set him back a significant amount here, Madrick.
Yeah, sometimes it's just those first, when things don't go right from the start, it does take those couple of laps just to settle down, just get the heart going at a normal rate, the adrenaline dropping off, but I'm sure he'll punch back with this. Yeah, we've got 4 drivers on what might be called a slightly harder tyre.
Oh, that's very interesting. So only 4 drivers have gone with the medium compound.
That's right, yeah.
Now, who are those drivers? I think our audience is biting at the bit to figure that out.
Okay, we've got Brewer in P3 on the medium. We've got Rudzi in P6 on the medium. Archangel Nemesis in P9 on the medium. And we've got the Good Doc on medium in P11. And Renegade in medium P5, and Renegade in P12 on medium. I'll get those words out. But I mentioned a couple of those drivers who are very, very good on the fuels. So this will be very interesting to see how the combination of mediums in the first stint and potentially a fuel save will go.
Yeah, absolutely. It really shows how much of a how well Brewer is driving in the early stages of this race. He's almost pulling a gap from Cruisin'. As they're 2 by 2, look at this. They're flying in formation.
Madrick nearly got a 2 for 1 there. He got Keza. And putting a fair bit of pressure on Rudzi coming down the hill. Teammates.
No team orders from the Black Rose pit wall at the moment. Jimmy Superfly, he'll be watching this with one eye closed, one eye on the action, as we see.
Archangel got a huge slipstream down there, deep under brakes.
And Madrick, he's going to sweep around the outside and he gets it done.
Yeah, that close racing with Archangel probably checked Rudsey up a bit. Brought Keza well and truly into the play.
The gloves are truly off here at the bottom of Category 2B. But I haven't seen any contact so far. So these guys driving very clean, very well so far. I hope I don't put the curse on him.
No, Super Fun Happy is hanging around with Wartime. He hasn't lost much over the opening 4.5 laps. Prua's about 3.6 seconds back, but he's the first of the medium runners. And just as you'd expect, he's under a bit of pressure from Cruisin' and Malevolent One as they're closing the gap on softs while they're in their window.
Prua notoriously known throughout Sector 1 for his defence. He's not going to let these guys by on a free pass. The question is, do these guys know that Prua is running the medium compound? I mean, yes, we're 4 laps into the race and they're 3 seconds down on the leaders, but is Cruisin' and Malevolent One under the impression that Prua's on the soft and they're just going to sit behind him and fuel save and serve their car a little bit? Well, it's Prua makes a slight error.
Unless their race engineers are tuned in, I dare say they might be just sitting there, which could be a mistake at the end, because on softs you need that time in the first stint.
Yeah, absolutely. I think... as Cruisin' almost runs up the back of Prua there. I think Prua is just content to just manage that gap, get good exits out of the corners, make sure they're not able to overtake, and it's in his best interest here to keep doing this until he's stopped.
And Keza's putting a bit of pressure on Archangel here for P8. Just having a look on the inside. Keza being on the softs and Archangel being on mediums.
See, that's pretty good start to this race from Archangel, being on the mediums as well. He made inroads in the opening laps, which is very good to see. And now he sits in a good position to set him up for the later stages of the race. There's beginning to be a bit of a train starting to form on the back of Prua's car, as Madrick has joined or tagged along onto the back of Malevolent One, Cruisin' and Prua. And I don't think Madrick will be too keen to sit behind. He will want to get by as soon as possible and make inroads into the lead. And as I say that, he pulls to the inside, sets the fastest lap at 35 race pace, and throws it down the inside. Oh, is this contact? Madrick tried to throw it down the inside of Malevolent One, but Malevolent One didn't see him coming and tried to, in turn, throw it down the inside of Cruisin'. But what that means is that Madrick, he throws it down the inside and makes up 2 moves, and now he's on the back of Prua. Well, I say he's on the back of Prua. Prua's actually escaped a second and a half up the road via that contact, but yeah, he'll be chasing him down over the next few laps, that's for sure.
Yeah, and being on softs, he needs to convert that 7.3 second deficit, negate it as much as possible, up to, well, certainly past Prua and get very close to the front 2 who are also on softs.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to need to get past Prua in the next 2 laps, ideally. Otherwise, he's going to have burnt out those soft tyres way too early, and he's not going to be able to make inroads into the leaders at this pace.
We've got Keza on an outside run coming into the hairpin turn 14 on Archangel. Into the braking area. Will we see the cut back in? He's taken a tighter line.
He's definitely got a good run out of there.
And that's brought Deep Rev and the Good Doc and Renegade has caught up. We've got a 5-car train here.
Oh, things are getting spicy. Will we see a move from Keza on Archangel into the first turn? 2/10 separates them at this point of the race.
He's got the slipstream.
And he goes for it, throws it down the inside.
Very late. Oh, maybe too late. He was in the Flintstones car there, with the feet in the dirt.
Yeah, absolutely. as Keza still looking for a way through on Archangel. Oh, it's Archangel, huge whip of the tail, and he's gone off. He's into the wall. Oh, just about holds on to it. How did he keep that one pointing the right direction? He does pick up a half-second penalty for his troubles. But how does he still have the
He's carrying
advantage
damage
over
too,
Keza?
front right wheel and splitter.
Let's have a look on the Jason McCounting action replay at what happened once again. He lost the rear, and he had an absolute tank slapper and careered into the wall and somehow
And
managed to hold on to it.
Too. So
Yes.
Keza's just got to hold back here and he'll get this position.
Yeah, he's definitely going to fly on by. And
Yeah, normally when you hit that wall there, you go straight ahead into the wall on the other side of the track.
yeah, that's where I thought he was going, and then somehow managed to grab onto it and hold onto it. As Dobrev will fly on by as well as Archangel gets demoted down
Madrick.
the. Oh, it's Good Doc's in there as well. As
And Madrick's
Archangel,
on right on Brewer here. He could get him on coming onto the main straight.
tucked up underneath that rear wing at the moment.
Bit of dirty air there as he crossed out of the slipstream.
Does he run
He's
deep?
pulled it up well. Brewer's back
Brewer.
on the inside.
Oh,
Oh,
that's the defense we're
the old
talking about.
switchback. Well done.
I'd say Brewer, he's got a little bit of a helping hand there by the fact that Madrick's soft tyres probably aren't looking in great condition at this stage of the race. So Brewer just has enough grip to throw it back down the inside on the exit on Madrick and hold on to his P3 at this stage of the race. Madrick still looking for a way through, but Brewer, he's not going to make it easy for him.
Just pointing the nose inside to stay in that slipstream.
He might get
And
it
this has
done
allowed
into the hairpin.
the front two out to the better of 5 seconds now.
More than, it's almost 7 seconds, which is a phenomenal gap as Brewer, he concedes the inside line. But does Madrick have the run on him into the hairpin? He's going to slam on the brake pedal, and I think he's just about
And he
got him.
shut the door. Yep.
But now he's going to be compromised for slipstream. Brewer, he's going to have to find something into the first turn. Looks to the inside, looks to the outside.
And we've got
Cruisin
Cruisin.
waiting
He
in the
might
wings.
capitalise on this.
Absolutely. Cruisin looking very racy. Into the first turn.
And
What
he's-
does Brewer do? He shows the nose. He backs out of it just about. Covers the inside just enough as not to entice Cruisin into a move, but what that means now is that Madrick is
perfect
gone.
car placement.
Yeah.
He left enough room for Cruisin to think about it, but not enough to push the push to pass.
Absolutely. So Madrick finds a way through and he immediately goes purple through the first sector. Now, we're on lap
he's
9.
probably got 2 or 3 laps before the soft start degrading exponentially here.
So what do you say we just get into a brief update on tyres? How's everyone's tyres conditions looking? Who's worse off and who's a bit better than the sort of general consensus?
Yep, so Wartime's about 60% left in the front right. Super Fun Happy, closer to 70% left in the front right. Madrick identical to Super Fun Happy. Brewer, the first of the medium runners, he's used about 15%, so 85% left. Cruisin around about 65% left. That's the tyre I'm calling out. It's probably the most impacted around here. Malevolent One sitting about 80% left. Rudsey on mediums, 85 to 90% left, doing a really good job on those tyres. Keza on softs, 70% left. Archangel, 80% left on mediums. Renegade, same. Good Doc, the same. And Dobrev on softs in about 70% left. And Good Doc's 80% left on mediums and just got the run up the outside going down the straight to take P11.
Thank you, Banker.
Dobrev made the run up the outside to take P11.
So what's the fuel looking like? Does Super Fun Happy have a fuel advantage over Wartime at this stage?
Marginally by about 3%. He's just a touch over half, where Wartime's a touch under. Nothing in it really in that one yet. Madrick a little bit better than Super Fun Happy, just by 1% or so. So those three are fairly even. Prua is better than the three in front, and I think you'll see that differential widen as we get further into the race. Cruisin' is a little bit better than Prua again. He's sitting on about 53% fuel. Rudzi 54% fuel. Kezis just a touch under half. Archangel touch under half. Renegade about 53% as well. There's and Debrev's about 55%. The theme, and same with Good Doc, the theme here, the medium runners are on a fuel save strategy, probably more so than the guys on softs, which you'd expect.
Yeah, for sure. Because I'm pretty sure the medium tyres, they go longer than a tank of fuel. So I think a lot of these guys, they're really trying to make the most out of this medium tyre stint and get home on less fuel, essentially.
Yeah, and look, from earlier in the season, you could definitely run 23, 24 laps on a medium. This track is probably one that would allow that. It's a little bit friendlier on the front tyres, especially if the drivers are working their brake bias to protect them.
So
just sitting with Malevolent One, just watching Cruise, and those softs just getting a bit of drift action happening through would have been corners 11, 12. Sorry, 8 and 9 as they drop down onto that short straight at the back. And we've got Malevolent One.
Throws it down the inside. Pulls it up just about. Yes, he does. Very handy move for Malevolent One. Gets himself up into P5 ahead of Cruisin'. So I think now we're seeing Pruis start to drive away from these guys. So I think Pruis, he's done the hard yakka. He's held up these guys behind. And now their softs are starting to burn. So Pruis able to just skip off into the distance.
A great drive out of that turn 14. He might just... taking the title line.
Oh, just about. We'll have to concede the position into the first turn. As they head through the S's now. So, even looking up to Prua, that gap, Madrick absolutely rocketed away and opened that gap out to 3 seconds, but it hasn't been growing. It's been, Cruisin' manages to get by Malevolent One through the tunnel. That's a brilliant move. We'll catch that on the JSM Accounting Action Replay. As they head onto the tunnel. Oh yeah, Malevolent One just ran a bit wide, opened up the door, and Cruisin' slipped on by. Very opportunistic move from the switchblade driver.
Yeah, and the last couple of laps, the big mover has been Madrick. That deficit when he got P3 was just over 7 seconds. It's now down to 4.
Yeah, he's been making massive inroads into these top guys here. And Pruis still holding that gap at 3 seconds to Madrick. So I think the crossover point is now for the mediums. And Prua, he's on a charge. I mean, at this rate, he could even be in for a race win here if he plays his cards right.
Yeah, well, he is consistently lapped in the low to mid 37s every lap.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's actually just beat his personal best with a 37.186. So yeah, he's using the tyres as they can be right now. He's also now within 7.5 seconds of the lead.
Yeah. So yeah, setting his fastest lap on that last lap. That's incredible. It just shows how the medium tyre evolves. It sort of gets quicker and quicker until it doesn't, until it falls off its cliff. But for now, those medium tyres proving themselves to be a very quick race tyre than Prua driving.
And speaking of falling off a cliff, we're starting to see Wartime softs. His soft right is now down to about 20% left versus 40 for Super Fun Happy, and there's been a second taken out of Wartime's position.
Yeah, Super Fun Happy is back within slipstream range. That's going to be critical in the story of this race. If Super Fun Happy can get by Wartime using that slipstream, it's really going to help him to out-strategy him in the pits potentially. If he's able to just sit behind and use a little bit less fuel.
Well, he certainly does have a fuel advantage. That would be hard to tell just at this point, but I think definitely worth a couple of seconds.
Yeah. So Prua.
Madrick's down to 3.5 from the lead.
Wow, Madrick has driven absolutely spectacularly in this first stint. And he's put a further gap on Prua as well. Prua, he had a little bit of a slower lap on the last lap, which halted his progress a little, but hopefully he can jump back into things and find his rhythm once again. It's the least amount of pressure he's been on the entire race long.
The beauty of the medium stint first is that if he picks his cutoff point, which the softs have about 12 laps by the look of this before they really start degrading. Prua can get up to around about that 18 to lap. He's just picked up a half-second penalty there. The run-up out of turn 10, he's just used the curb a bit too hard. But yeah, if he can run up to sort of circa 18-20 with his fuel advantage and coming home on softs on a lighter car, there's a chance here of making that 7 seconds up. By the end of the race,
yeah,
if the front runners stay on medium, go on the mediums.
So I don't think they will though, because we're on lap 14. They're about to be lap 15, and I think that's where we're going to see majority of the grid peeling in, as the majority are on softs. So compared to our strategy graphic from earlier, those soft tyres are lasting significantly longer than what we assumed they would. For now, Wartime narrowly holding his advantage over Super Fun Happy. So I think Super Fun Happy, he's going to be miles down the road over Wartime after their stop. But the big question is, where does Madrick come out into the mix as well? He's within 3 seconds of the lead now, so he's definitely a contender for the race, but whereabouts is that? That's the big question. As we see a massive train of cars here for P9.
Madrick's fuel is identical to P2.
So they could both jump Wartime in the pits here. As we see Brev, Good Doc, and Renegade all, they were bumper to bumper, and now Renegade looking very racy. He's looking for a way through on Good Doc at this stage of the race.
Andy Brev's picked up a half-second penalty there through the, I think, the first tunnel.
No, I think it was before that. I don't know how he did it. It might have been through on the exit of the first turn. Definitely a strange one for Debrev. He will serve his penalty, and so did Prua, I believe. And now he's under a lot of pressure from the guys behind. So what does Prua do here? Does he peel in? No, he doesn't. And Cruisin goes around. So does Malevolent One. That's very interesting. Wartime's the only one that pits on that lap. Yeah.
18 litres left. Bearing in mind the fuel rate is 2 litres a second, so we'll get an idea of the potential time gains as the others come in next lap. Debrev's in behind him, which isn't a bad call. When you pick up a penalty in a lap and you're around your pit window, you take it.
Yeah. Just use that clean air advantage. As Cruisin still stuck to the back of Prua's bumper.
Yeah, and Madric's inked out probably another 6 or 7 tenths out of Super Fun Happy, so definitely on a fly.
Will these guys pit on lap 16? That's the big question. Will they use that tyre advantage to get by more time in the pits? We'll have to wait and see. Madrick
Yeah,
looks
it looks
like
like
he's going around
Wartime
again.
only filled to about 90%. So he may hold that track position if the others fill closer to 100.
Malevolent One has a brilliant fuel save here. That's a lot of fuel saved in his car. 22% in the tank when he peels in. But Madrick, he's gone around again. Will we see any of these guys in? I think that's the crucial question. On lap 17. I think Madrick, he was either going to pit for the undercut to get by Super Fun Happy, or just stick it out for a little longer. Hope for the overcut, use those fresher tyres to his advantage. You know, like one of those calls where it's like, if he pits, I don't. If he doesn't, I do.
Yeah, just to try and create an opportunity.
Yeah. But now what that means is that if you're in the shoes of Wartime, and you've got clearly the faster driver of Madrick, who has just chased down 7 seconds in the second part of that stint, what does that say about your chances having pit 2 laps earlier? I guess then again he is lapping for on those 2 laps quicker than what Madrick is, but I wouldn't say Madrick's pace is slouchy either. Still in the 30
he's in this lap, Madrick.
Yeah, makes the call. Does Brewer pit?
And
I think he does. No, he goes around again.
no.
Cruisin makes the call, peels in. Rudsey comes in too.
Brewer's still doing mid-37. He did have a bit of a hiccup in the last lap, but he brought that gap down to under 7 seconds and still doing mid-37s. So he will have a very light fuel load for the closing stint.
So the first of the medium runners does peel into the pits, and it is Archangel, and it is because he's fuel compromised. I believe he had plenty of rubber left on that car. So Brewer will get a lap lead here tonight at Deep Forest.
Yeah, so we've got Keza in P3. He'll definitely have to pit this lap. He's on the fuel light on his softs. But it's Rudsey in front has got almost a quarter of a tank more fuel on the mediums.
Wow. That is crucial. That's a stonking amount of time that he's going to gain in the pits.
The Renegade Good Dog fight's continuing, 3 tenths in this. Tyre and fuel almost identical for the two of them, so mediums are still better than half and just under quarter of a tank of fuel. And Renegade's got a bit of a slipstream here coming down to turn 14, the hairpin.
What does he do? Does he look to the inside? He does. As Brewer goes around again. These two side by side on the exit. Looks like Renegade's going to get in this time. As they've all gone round again. Wow.
Yeah, I reckon maybe lap 20 for the medium runners. Their tyres are still in good nick. And most, if not all, have got a fair bit of fuel up their sleeve. So a lot of fuel on even the worn mediums will be helping their lap times.
That's for sure. As Good Dog looking to the outside,
Okay.
Renegade positioning his car well.
Gone around again, so he'll have fumes as he goes into the pit entrance, I reckon.
Will he be able to get it home? That's the big question. Yeah, so Keza and Rudsey, they've been attached at the hip for a a good part of this race now. It's plugging along. Renegade and Good Dog.
But
much the
yeah,
same.
19 laps on softs, really, really hard. Especially considering that degradation started probably lap 12, lap 13, where it really started to fall off a cliff.
Yeah. So, Wartime has come out behind Superfun Happy and Madrick. They are a while down the road. So, Superfun Happy is a second ahead of Madrick, who's 3 seconds ahead of Wartime, and Wartime is all crossed up with Cruiser behind him. So, Wartime has lost a monster amount of time with his strategy. Kez is into the pits, 1% in the tank.
Yep. The Wartime one's interesting. He does have a little bit more fuel, and than Madrick in front of him, and probably on par with Super Fun Happy. So he might have a little bit to play with there, but yeah, certainly going to be a harder run. And he does have Cruisin sitting behind him now. Cruisin sitting behind him on softs and a slightly lighter car.
It's weird as Keza come out, he's not even putting fuel in. He's going to be way off when he comes out of the pits. So lap 20, is this where these guys make the call? It would have to be, you would assume.
Yeah, I think so. 20, possibly 21 looking at the lap times, but they know 20, they've got 10 laps on softs. They'll be able to fly home, especially with that lighter fuel load.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, because it's come out around 60 seconds off the lead.
But the front guys do still need to make a pit stop, so that does need to be taken into account.
Pruitt probably in this lap, not a lot left in the tank.
And he does make the call.
The guys behind him, Rudsy's got plenty of fuel left, so he's going around again. Renegade's got another lap on top of this. He's got a lot of pressure from Good Doc, who's in a similar fuel position. Who will balk first? Good Doc's in. Renegade's gone around.
I think what happened there was, I think Renegade wanted to pit, but then when he got to the line, Good Doc was already there, so he couldn't come across. So I think Renegade, he's had to go around again, otherwise he would have to risk the 3-second penalty. But yeah, just unfortunate placement of the car, really. That was a bit of an odd one, that. As Pruitt comes out, P5. So he has jumped Wartime. Wow.
Yep, by about 1.5 seconds, and 1.3 back to Cruisin, and 1.5. Wartime is putting a lot of pressure on Cruisin, but he's picked up a half-second penalty on, it must be turn 1. So that'll hurt him. That'll drop him off this
had the penalty coming into the first turn. But yeah, we're just watching on the JSM accounting action replay. Cruisin getting on by Wartime at turn number 1.
Yeah, Malevolent One will get him in the burn zone.
Yeah, well and truly.
So we've got Renegade coming around. He absolutely have to box this lap from a fuel perspective anyway. So he's in and Rudsy's in.
So here's the equation. We've got Madrick, who's ahead of Superfun Happy. Pruitt's just behind us. Oh, he's picked up a half-second penalty, and Cruisin is pressuring him for P3 or P5 at the moment. So something has happened to Pruitt there. Are we able to catch that on the JSM accounting action replay? We'll have a quick squiz in a moment. But for now, Pruitt could be in trouble. Cruisin could be looking at a P5 or what will be P3 in a moment as they overtake these guys in the pits. Cruisin
He's not waiting
looks
for the
to the
burn
inside.
zone.
He's not going to make the same mistake he made at the start. As they come out, and
Rudsy's come out of the pits.
Straight into the mix. Oh my goodness, and Cruisin's going to get by. As that was, Rudsey.
Yeah, Pruill
he
went
is-
in really deep there.
I think what happened was Pruill went to go for the apex, but then Rudsey appeared out of the pits and just parked his car on the racing line. So Pruill had no choice but to run it deep and try and hang it around the outside. But the group just wasn't there for him at that point.
No, and that was, see there, the benefit of that fuel save by Rudsey when he had that huge differential on Kesra, I think it was, and yeah, it's put him up into P3.
Wow. So Rudsey, he was down in 7th and 8th in the first stint, but now he's really pulled the plug out and yeah, got himself up into P3 by virtue of a brilliant strategy decision. Now
And
Pruill,
super fun, happy. Rod on half tank of fuel, racing softs. He's just done his personal best through into sector 3, and he's closed the gap to 8/10 on Madrick.
oh my goodness, wartime, he's not done just yet. A 1:35.6 and he's down to 6th at the moment. Oh my goodness, Pruill is just walking backwards. Unable to get those tyres up to temperature. He was looking at a podium, possibly better, but now staring at 7th place. It's all gone wrong in this outlap for Pruill. Unable to get those tyres turned on. Working in there.
Malevolent One's going to make a move, I think, here on wartime. No, he's just rolled out of it.
He looks down the inside, but wartime is braking late and hooking it around the outside. That's a very deep run from wartime. That might leave him under pressure from Malevolent One and Pruill. Will Pruill follow him through? So we see 2 by 2 as further up the road. We've got Rudsey and Cruisin battling for it.
A little bit of contact there, I think, but they've both managed to hold on to it. It was certainly close. Rudsey's the quickest, but he is significantly down. As part of that fuel save, I think he's short fueled as well because he's significantly down on the 2 in front.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I saw him only put 38% in the tank or so, which, I don't know, I thought maybe I was seeing things, but if
he's sitting at about 28%, and the guys in front of him probably at 45.
He's confident in his fuel numbers. He can try and stick it out. As we see wartime peeling to the outside. Defensive move from Cruisin, positioning the car beautifully on the entrance to the hairpin. Cruisin looking to get by Rudsey.
Oh, something happened there to Cruisin, I think.
Oh no!
Has
he lost all input?
There's something, definitely he's got no throttle, stuck in second, unfortunately.
Oh no!
Yeah, there's a big technical issue for him. Yeah, that's a major technical failure for him.
Let's try and listen. Oh, he just got stuck. Yeah, he just got stuck in second. There's not much you can do there. Oh,
yeah, and when I picked him up, he had 0 throttle or brake inputs there. Well, what a shame.
Yeah, I don't know. That's disaster for the Switchblade driver in his final race for the team as he finally gets on going. Looks like he's fixed the issue, but by now he's dead last in the proceedings. That's such a bad way to end today for such a brilliant drive. You're staring at a podium, looking very pacey, looking to try and get by Rudsey, but unfortunately, car issues, technical failures. It's not gone Cruisin's way today.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was in the background of the car that I was with, and he basically came to a dead stop out of the corner. We got wartime on the outside of Rudsey here. Rudsey's gone deep. Wartime the exit. Oh, is that Malevolent One into the mix?
Yeah,
he's picked up P4.
They both ran wide, and now Malevolent One, he's going to slide his way into P3 by the looks of things. Wow. So Malevolent One, I pretty much counted him down and out, but now he's looking at a podium with just 5 laps left to go.
I can't see how Rudsey can defend this. He's definitely short shifting to the others, using his brakes to advantage, but we'll see how it pans out.
Oh, as he's side by side with Wartime as they head through the S's. He's keeping his foot in it and manages to hold on to P4 at the moment. But now all this battling to try and keep him behind. I think Malevolent One might be able to skip down the road.
Yeah, Madric's grafted a 2-second lead out here on Super Fun Happy, so definitely got his eyes forward.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Slightly better tyres, slightly worse fuel than Super Fun Happy, but really nothing in it.
Yeah, I think Madrick played his cards right here. He stuck out longer than Super Fun Happy and Wartime, and now he's reaping the rewards in the late stages of this race.
Oh, big diver's contact between Rudsy and Malevolent One in turn 14. And that's given Wartime a decent run out of the corner. Yeah, I think Rudsy's just trying to use as much of his braking and corner entry speed as he can here to hold them off on the straights.
Looks like he's not going to be able to, as Wartime is going to barrel down the inside. Oh, a little bit of contact on exit. Oh, huge fishtail from Rudsy. I think Wartime has to concede the position there. Now Wartime's going to lose out to Brewer as well.
To Brewer.
We'll have a look on Jason Accounting action replay. Just what happened.
P1, P2 and P5 Brewer are the only ones in the 36s at the moment.
Oh,
and
so
all with enough fuel. Sorry, all with enough fuel to race to the end.
So Wartime, he had a tight line through the entry and mid corner, but then just drifted a little wide and tagged the rear quarter of Rudsy, and had to get out of the boot to not spin Rudsy, and giving up that time but let Brewer back through.
Well, there's less than 2 seconds between P3 and P6.
Yeah, that's for sure. Fifth,
still laps to run.
Absolutely.
3.5
at the moment for Brewer. I think that now that his tyres are actually turned on, he might be in with half a shout of a podium. He went longer than all these other guys except for Rudsy. Rudsy was the only one that went longer, and that's because Rudsy's short fueled as well, or we think he's short fueled. But now Brewer, he's going to sweep around the outside. Oh, he's lost the rear end. Oh my goodness.
Very lucky there not to slide any further, but a good recovery. He's only lost a couple of tenths.
Let's have a look on the JSM Accounting action replay at just what happened here for Brewer. He was barreling down towards the first turn. Did he just lock a rear axle? Oh, I think there was contact between Brewer and Rudsy, unfortunately. I think Brewer swept in from the outside, and Rudsy, trying to conserve his tyres and fuel, just sort of kept a straighter route through the corner. And a little bit of contact there between the two, but Brewer, he's not going to let that one live, and he's going to have another opportunity to get by down into the hairpin. Can't quite find enough in a straight line though to get by. Is he going to be close enough into the hairpin? Will he make a dive? Not quite, but Rudsy does go defensive. Brewer, he's in with half a sniff here, looking to try and find inroads.
We've got Wartime all over him. Yeah, I think Rudsy, just looking at where he's shifting now, I think he might have drove this car back into the fuel window. He's definitely holding his gears longer than before. Although the main straight he did shift up a bit early and went on the inside, but what can Brewer do here? He's past him into the braking area.
On bias. Oh, Rudsy! He's run very deep. That was
he's going to lose 2 positions here.
That was an extremely ambitious move. Brewer buzzed by him in a straight line and then just kept his foot in it there, Rudsy, but Brewer's going to inherit P4.
Yeah, he's definitely been a bit quicker too, Brewer, so he should be able to hold this. Oh, a bit wide.
Say Pro, he's really in a box seat here over Wartime behind, and I guess Rudsey, now that he's got a bit of fuel on board, saved himself back into this race. The podium battle is on. It can go to any one of these four drivers.
Yep, just on a second covers them. Rudsey's just hit the fuel light. Two in front haven't.
Only 2 laps to go, so it's not
It
too
will be
much
close
left
for
in this
Rudsey.
race. Yeah,
I think he's just in the window.
I think in the first stint
Or
when these
playing
guys were
dangerously
saving fuel,
with the window.
yeah, I think in the first stint when we saw these guys saving fuel, they were using about 3 or 4% per lap. So if he's on the fuel light now, that's really going to be cutting it fine. As he's already dropped 7 tenths back to Brewer, and he's under a lot of pressure from Wartime here as well. Wartime is going to make the move. Oh, sweeps to the inside there for Wartime.
Yeah.
Nicely
Yeah, I
done
think
by
Rudsey will
Wartime.
have trouble defending these, or getting back into the I've had the guys, 3 guys in front.
That's Malevolent. Oh, as he runs
Time's
wide.
just hit the wall.
Oh no.
He's managed to hold it. Luckily, no damage.
Was there contact? Or did he lose it on his own?
No, I think he lost that on his own. And look, part of the reason is that he was one of the early stoppers from memory for softs, and his front right is significantly below the cars in front by about 40%.
Looked like he just slid off the road there, so Wartime might not be able to get back into this one. But for now...
And that corner is a very gentle turn to the right, turn to the left before you go right, and that's where that front tyre gave out.
Was Rudsey looking for a way through on Brewer? Potentially a little reactive there for Brewer, but I don't know. I will leave it up to the stewards. That's Malevolent one. He's just got 1 lap left to go. Is he able to hold on to this podium? I think he might be able to do it. Brewer, he's got his arms wrapped up with Rudsey behind. Who's going to show his nose to the inside. Is he able to get it done this time round?
Rudsey's best lap of the race too.
Oh, very elbows out defense here. It will be the last lap of the season for these guys. The last lap in the McGann in the Adelaide Ceramic Coatings Category 2B field.
Well, Rudsey's going for gold here. I'm not sure he has the fuel to do it too hard, but and he's up 2 tenths on his personal best.
Rudsey is seeing red. Does he have the fuel? Is he going to make it home?
Well, I know where the red is that he's seeing. It's on that gauge. And there's only a very little bit of it. He's got a good drive out of the corner. That might be enough to hold Brewer off up this hill and down into turn 14.
Yeah, that slipstream from Malevolent 1 is going to be crucial for Rudsey if he's going to hold it. Does he need to start short shifting? Is he able to hold it? I'm not too sure.
He's not short shifting.
Oh, round the final quarter. Brewery's tucked up right under his rear wing. But we've got to have a look back up front to Badrick, he's going to take the race win by 3 seconds over Super Fun Happy, who will finish P2. Oh, Rudsey's run out. And Brewer, he's going to take P4. Rudsey, I think he's going to hold on to 6th, but it's going to be Malevolent 1 who takes 3rd. Brewer in 4th, Wartime 5th, and Rudsey will come home in 6th position, running out of fuel just short of the line. Keza will take 7th. Then it will be Renegade who claims 8th. Good Doc who comes home in 9th position. Dobrev in 10th. He's carrying a penalty. Then it will be Archangel and Cruisin who have been battling for... was Cruisin, he's gone off a long way. But Archangel, He's going to claim 11th place here. As he barrels down towards the finish line. Up towards the finish line. The flag is waving. P11 for Archangel. P12 for Cruiser. And that's all she wrote. For Adelaide Ceramic Coatings, Category 2B. For Season 10. Wow. What a race. That had it all, didn't it, Banker?
Oh, absolutely. Mad effort by Rudsey to try and get that podium. But there's one gauge here you can't race, and that's the one that says E on it. He was not even short shifting up that back straight, and I just saw the red disappear as he went around that hairpin turn. So he only had a couple hundred meters left.
As let's have a look on our Adelaide Ceramic Coatings race results. Here is how they shape up for the final time for Season 10. Madrick takes P1 with 3 seconds over Super Fun Happy, I should say. Third place to complete the podium goes to Malevolent 1. Prua comes home in 4th place. Wartime 5th. Rudsey 6th. Keza 7th. Renegade 8th. Good Doc 9th, Debrev 10th, Archangel 11th, Cruiser 12th, and claiming the fastest lap is Wartime with a 35.6. That is an absolutely rapid race pace lap time for Wartime. So yeah, who's your driver of the day, Banker?
Look, comes down to 2 drivers. Really happy with how Super Fun Happy handled that race. I know there was just under 3-second deficit at the end, but given the state of Madrick's car, they were both very, very similar. Race pace was similar. I think he just backed off a bit there to seal 2nd place. Malevolent 1 was another 10 seconds adrift. So I really liked the way he handled that race. But also, my drive of the day is probably, to be honest, to Pruitt. That alternate strategy with the medium and softs, it nearly worked for him. He was only looking at this only 1 second off the podium at the end of the race. Wartime there with the fastest lap 2 at 1:35.637. But yeah, really liked the way Pruitt tried that alternate strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I want to give it to Pro because he's my team boss, but I think I'm actually going to give mine to Malevolent 1. Somehow managing to strangle back a podium against all odds. He had a very woeful first stint. Came in on provisionally P9. He had 8 cars ahead of him that pit, and came out with a podium. Which, I mean, stellar effort from the Thunder esports or motorsports driver, I should say. Very, very handy indeed. So special thanks to the Banker for race directing tonight and all the streaming you've done this season.
No worries, thank you. It's I hate using the word journey, but it has been an interesting journey. But yeah, I really love the quality that these drivers put into their racing week after week. And Season 10 in the one make has certainly been competitive, as you can see by every race where, you know, the quality times are often within a second across the whole field, and even the closeness of the points right across our 4 divisions. So yeah, been a great season. Congrats to the drivers.
You can say that again. So we've got a couple
that
of
said,
driver of the day votes.
We've got Cat 1 next week, and it could all turn to tears for me.
It should be a good one next week. But got a couple of driver of the day votes in the chat. We've got Stranger giving it to Prua, Artsy giving it to Malevolent 1, PD Pops to Wartime. So yeah, definitely a couple of options here tonight throughout the field. But yeah, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We're about to have Category 2A up next for their season finale, and it's all to play for. We have Big J, one hand on the trophy, but he's just got to finish tonight to claim that trophy. But yeah, special thanks to Banker for coming out tonight. Yeah, we'll go for a quick intermission, and Banker will be gone. We'll have a child in the comms box, somebody's daycare kid. But anyways, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. More racing action coming right up. See you guys. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are ready for some Category 2A racing action. I am welcoming into the comms box everyone's favourite defending champion in Sector 1. It is the GOAT, or Goaty,
Yeah,
as some affectionately call him.
yeah, affectionately, yeah. No, I am everyone's favourite defending champion.
Yep.
It is good to be here. Thanks for letting me in, Leno. It was cold outside.
Yeah. You're freezing. It's like
Yeah,
a small, timid dog that was freezing in the cold. I had to
yeah, all right,
let him
mate.
inside. Yeah. Anyways, so the story for tonight, we have a championship battle to decide. Big J, he's currently on 217 points, which plays Revs 193. That is the situation at the top of the table. Having been in a situation like this yourself, Goaty, what does one have to do to clinch the title on the final day?
Oh, mate. I'm pretty much an expert in these areas, and what I've found over the years is actually, if you beat the other person, you end up getting more points than them and giving you a better chance of winning the championship. So I think that's what the lads have to do tonight.
Yeah, can't go wrong.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
fully agree.
No, you're
Um,
welcome.
so, what do you know about this track so far, Goaty? Have you done any practice for next week? What do you like about this track?
No, it's an interesting track. There's a lot of time to be found in the first two sectors, and then I think that's mainly where your lap time is. So yeah, there's a lot going on there. But if you can get a tow, I think you're really laughing here because there's two really big straights, and there's a lot of time to be found tucking in behind someone. So I think it might be on for pole of whoever gets a good tow, but no, we'll see what pans out.
Yeah, that's for sure. Um, Yeah, so what are you thinking for strategy? We saw a couple of people touch the medium tyre in the Category 2B race. You think similar
Yeah.
thoughts in this field, or do you think more are going to lean towards just the soft?
Well, it is does depend on how good you are on your tires. Like ideally you want to go soft and split it down the middle, but if you want to go for outright pace and really push the tires hard and try and get through the field, set of mediums wouldn't hurt just for the first half, and then you got less laps to do on the softs. So yeah, I think you can really change it up to suit how you want to race suit how you want to play it out.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, in the Category 2B race, we saw a lot of people going undercuts, overcuts, just trying to find something to give them that edge in terms of strategy. So definitely one of those races where you need to set up the finish right from the start, save your car, keep it in a good condition, and leave it till the last few laps to really make the most of it.
That's
But
right.
yeah, we're not far from the Category 2A final qualifying of the season, aren't we, Goaty?
That's right. Yeah. So I'm pretty close to kicking it off, but we don't have. Oh well, we're missing two people, or they've not ticked in yet. So I'll just have to wait for them to tick in.
Yell at them.
Yell at them. Yeah.
Tick in! Give him a penalty for failing to listen to race director's instructions. We don't do that
Yeah.
often here at
No.
Sector 1, but
Yeah. No. That's nice of you, Leno, just to go straight to that. But yeah, no, well, we're all in now, so we be kicking it off directly.
alright, everyone's ready to go. What colour have you painted the button this time?
Black.
Black? We've ever had a black button in the comms box.
Yeah, right. Well, black buttons matter, mate.
Buttons matter. Heard it here
Yeah.
first, folks. 10 minutes on the qualifying timer. We're about to kick off for the final time in Category 2A, brought to you by JSM Accounting. As Rev's the first driver out on track, by the looks of things. And not letting me, there we go. So Rev's first driver out on track for Datsun Racing. He is chasing down Big J, who just needs to get any result on the board tonight to take the championship. But he's not going to settle for any old position. He's going to go for glory. He wants P1 here tonight, as everybody does. Mr. Bumcrack, third driver out on track this evening. Pretty decent campaign for him, as I think we just saw Blind Man very, very sideways in the background there for Switchblade. There's Carbon Boy. P5 out on track at the moment, followed by Greggs, who is there in P6. The boss for Tyre Power, the Blacklight Motorsports car, 7th out on track. We have Felix just behind in the Hooncorp car. 80 Pops behind him. Budsy, 10th driver out on track, followed by Grovel, Black Project, and finally VF, the 13 in our field tonight. We are only missing the sole driver of the Stranger, who's on a little bit of a holiday down south, so unable to join us this evening, as the drivers begin their first flying lap this evening. As Revs is about to cross the line to begin the proceedings for his first flying. Oh, he's actually... okay, that was just a timing glitch. I thought it said his first lap was invalid, which I was wondering how, but he continues on.
Yeah. You know, he takes an interesting line through turn 1 there, I've noticed. Haven't seen anyone do that before. But he's tackling this first sector nicely. He's just running a little bit wide there, so that will hurt him a little bit. He's coming through sector 2 now. He's going to dab on the brakes, throw it in, and get it lined up on the bridge, down 2 gears. And it's a pretty important corner here, so you want to absolutely maximise your exit to get a really good run onto this straight. And it's almost as important as this next corner coming up. But as he crosses over the sector line, it's not ideal. He's a little bit down where he might like to be, but we'll see as he comes to the last corner now. Gets a nice exit there. So that last corner did look pretty good, so we'll see what this time's looking like for Revs as he takes the tightest line to the finish line. And he's going to come across the line with a 36.0. So not bad.
Oh, 1,000 separate the 2 championship rivals after the first flying lap. Oh, lineman to the top of the times. They 1:35.3. That is absolutely rapid. That is 5/10 quicker than Category 2B straight out the bat. And Budsy to pole position. He goes even quicker by 0.02 of a second over Blind Man. 1 lap from Budsy to put himself higher up the order. And Blind Man's up on his, or his purple, I should say, through the first sector. Very interesting as the first few laps come through.
Yeah, that's right. But Revs and Big J, they're not actually trying to... Well, they're obviously trying to win the race, but they're more importantly trying to just make sure they're ahead of one another, because that's where the real battle is this evening.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, interesting enough, Black Project, he's... oh no, he's got a penalty. He was 11 seconds up through the first sector, so I'd say he's had an accident on his flying lap there, and now he's picked up a penalty. Oh, somebody's lost it. Who is that? It is VF, who is in P10. We'll catch that on the JSM Accounting Action replay. See what he did. As he came down over the crest and over the bridge. Did he just light up the rears on exit? Potentially. Yeah, that's exactly what's happened, and he finds himself careering into that wall on the left. as quite a number of drivers are peeling in, take their first stop of this qualifying session, potentially their only stop of this qualifying session. I don't see any more pit stops. But yeah, no real improvements on this second flying lap for anyone really. Bumcrack, 10th up on his time. Big J's been shuffled down the order to 5th. Still only 1,000th ahead of Revs here, who has he taken a pit stop? No, he has not yet. I think he's still trying for a quicker lap here. It will be his 3rd flying lap. Has he left it too late to take a pit stop in this session? Potentially. Oh, he's basically neck and neck with his lap time at the moment. 5,000ths down through the final sector split as he barrels down towards the hairpin. Down towards the finish line now. What can he do? Or does he peel into the pits? No. He sticks it out, hoping to improve his lap time. Does he get a good run? Lineman's in the pits. What can Revs do? Oh, he goes slower. Now he should have time to get around and get some new tyres on for one more flying lap, but might not have enough for anything more than that. The boss goes to P5, a respectable 36 flat. Petey Pops sets a lap which puts him into 12th, or I think he already was 12th.
Yeah, it's a nice tidy lap from Boss there, jumping up into P5. But yeah, a lot of these guys are just about to start their second flyers, just coming out of the pits. Yeah, Big J's just come up to the first sector line now, and he's 3/10 up. He's not purple, but he's on a good one compared to his first lap. As he goes down, the sweeping left-hander across the bridge, gets the car nicely pointed in for a nice exit onto the straight.
Heading up now to the sector split line. What's he going to be? Up by half a second. If he nails this last corner, he could be on pole position or very near to it. 3/10 is a lot to find through one corner though. He's going to need a critical exit as Revs improves his time. He goes to 4th. Bumcrack improves to 3rd. But now will be Big J. He'll be the next one to make an impact on at this qualifying time. What can he do? Gets close to the line and he goes to 3rd. That's a decent lap by Big J. Pops himself on the second row of the grid. Regs goes 8th place there.
Should have another lap. Oh, he's backing out of it. Okay. So, yeah. Not sure if he can make it around for another one. But, yeah, it'll be close. Could have enough time for another lap, but yeah, we'll stay on board with that.
As Budsy still holds P1 by a slim margin over Blindman, who is currently heading down the... Oh, he has a bit of a moment. What is happening with Blindman? I think he's a little laggy. So we'll stay away from the Switchblade car tonight.
Yeah, and he has pulled out of his lap, so he wasn't very happy with the first part of that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if these guys are going to get to the line in time. That may be their qualifying run and done.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think Big J has realised that. So has Blindman. What are they doing? Yeah, I think Big J's just realised he's not going to make it. Blindman, I don't know what he's doing. I think we saw Greg's there. He's not going to make it. Petey Pops just gets another lap. And that will be the end of the session.
But Revs does have another chance, and so does the Plumber. And the Plumber is up on his lap by half a tenth, and Revs is pretty well on par with his original lap. So we'll stay on board with these guys, see how they go.
As Felix goes to P5 there. That's a good lap for the Kiwi.
Now as Revs is navigating his way through the tunnel, coming up to that second sector line, and he's 2 tenths down, so he's done.
Bumcrack is up though.
Yes, there's still room for improvement for the Plumber. This is coming up to, theoretically, the last corner. Oh, he's made a bit of a hash of that actually, so yeah, he might have lost a chunk of time there.
Surprised he hasn't got a penalty from that actually. That was very far beyond the track limits.
Yeah.
But as of now, I don't think Revs is going to have enough to do it. No, he doesn't. Well and truly down. And Bumcrack crosses the line. He is also well and truly down. But that's all she wrote for this qualifying session. Or are we still waiting for one more driver?
One more, yeah, someone else just crossing the line, Petey Pops, but he had a penalty. So there you go.
Wow, very interesting qualifying session, it must be said. As we'll have a look at the Adelaide Ceramic Coatings race, or qualifying results, I should say. Here's how they'll be racing in a moment's time. Budsy takes P1 over Blind Man there in second. Big J lines up on the second row of the grid. Bumcrack 4th, Felix 5th, Rev 6th, Boss 7th, Grovel 8th, Greg's 9th, VF 10th, Carbon Boy 11th, Black Project 12th, and Petey Pops will be starting from the rear of the grid tonight. So what do you have to think about that qualifying session, Godie? Any surprises, or what's your biggest takeaways from that?
Well, I think Budsy is the biggest surprise actually to jump out there and do a good lap. I think that was one of his first laps too. Jumps out and grabs pole. So yeah, that was a nice lap from him. And yeah, and it is good to see Boss up there in the category A lobby tonight. So he's up the front. So no, I think they're the big two that I was surprised about.
Yeah, well, funny story with the Boss actually. He thought he was racing in category 2B tonight, so he rocked up into that lobby, and then he had to get told, "No, mate, you're in the top group tonight. Off you go. Leave the lobby." Yeah. So yeah, he finds himself here tonight. Qualifies P7. Not too shabby, it must be said. So for you guys at home watching along, make sure to throw your race predictions down below. Who do you think is going to be your top 3? And who do you think is going to have a good impression into the race tonight? Have a good run. It's all left on the table as we're about to run the last 30 laps of Category 2 in Season 10. So what do you say we smash that big black button, Godie?
That's right, mate. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. All right, here we go.
All right. I mean, we enjoyed some spectacular racing in Category 2B, so I'm hoping that we'll enjoy more of the same in this one with Category Group A. The drivers line up on the grid. As the light sequence begins. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we're out of racing here at Deep Forest as somebody's grabbed a gear at the wrong time. I believe it is the Boss in the background. But Budsy gets off to a ripping start as he flies away from Blind Man. But Blind Man tries to stick his nose in. Can't quite get it done. And it looks like the top 3 are going to stay as they were. Does everyone make it through smoothly? I believe they do. First corner nice and clean. Barreling down through the S's as we see Blind Man looking very racy on the rear bumper of Budsy. They head through the tunnel for the first time.
it was a pretty clean getaway. We got a little bit of Noah's Ark action for 9th place, bit of 2x2. And it's kicking off. Oh no!
The boss has been pit maneuvered in the background there. Can't quite find his car. There he is. We'll have a look at that in a moment on the JSM Accounting Action replay, but he is barely holding it together. I don't know how he held on to that, to be honest. That was some brilliant car control from
that was well
the Black
held,
Light
definitely.
Motorsports driver.
Yeah,
Single file stuff.
That's right. Everyone's kind of finding their way, kind of settling in, which is what we want to do. It's only lap 1 and 30.
Nice move by the boss to get up by VF as well.
Yeah, I think he'll be seeing the red mist now, so he'll be trying to find back those positions he lost on that opening lap.
As we head down towards the first turn for the second time of 30, and it looks like Budsy's able to hold out over Blind Man this time. Oh, as we see Bumcrack under a lot of pressure from Revs through the S's now. And down through the tunnel.
Yeah, Revs is looking racy for these first opening laps here. Just looking for a way past Bumcrack.
So we have a look what happened to the boss on lap 1. So he came through the second tunnel. Was there a coming together with Revs? Oh, I think I know what happened. I think what happened there was Greg's hit the wall and bounced out into the side of Boss, and Boss almost lost it there. But as it stands, they're continuing on, and Greg's looking very racy, looking for a move down into the hairpin, has to back out of it. No, he doesn't. He shows the nose again. Shows it again. Will he go for it? Not quite. Can't quite create an overlap. Oh, as Boss runs wide off the track. Was there contact with Greg's once again? I think there may have been, potentially, but Boss collects a penalty, so that puts all doubt to rest whether there was contact or not. Have a look on the JSM Accounting Action replay. I'm not too sure. That's a bit inconclusive, that replay. Now, Goaty, is there a mix of tyres in the field?
Oh, so glad you asked. There is 2 people running the mediums, and the first of which is Greg's, and then next one is Petey Pop's. So 11th and 13th in the field.
That is very interesting at this point of the race. I mean, I had a feeling it might have been Boss, because there's a large gap between Carbon Boy and the Boss. But if he's on softs, he's got to make massive inroads over the next couple of laps, as he's going to burn this penalty, and he could be dropping back as far as 11th, even 12th.
Yeah, no, this isn't ideal for Boss. Yeah, it's just these this pack just started fighting, and then they've kind of let the top 8 break away. That's how easy it is.
Someone who's not letting anyone break away, though, is Blind Man. He is stuck on the back of Budsy here. Half a tenth separates them for the first 3 laps of this race. Blind Man's not going to give up this easy. Big J driving spectacularly at the start of this one as well. Holds his P3. And in these early stages of the race, it's critical that these guys, they just buy their time and set things up for the final 10 laps.
That's right. You just want to set yourself up for a ticket to the end. Yeah, so you just want to keep your nose clean and stay in the top group, and have a car to fight with.
Like we saw last race in Category 2B, Wartime, he was leading the entire first stint, but out-strategied himself, and he found himself coming out of the pits in the middle of the mid-pack battle pack, and it really destroyed his chances of a race win just before. But wondering if any of these Group A drivers are cautious to make the same mistake.
Yeah, so I was just watching Revs there. He's just kind of showing the nose to the plumber, just keeping him honest, reminding him that he's there.
So the boss manages to get by Black Project at this stage of the race. After serving his penalty, he's back on a charge, but I think Black Project is going to have something to say about that. Shows the nose. Really blink at it. Yes, he does. Oh. Maybe just trying to force the boss into an unforced error here. As Revs runs a little deep there, but comes back for a nice late apex, I should say. Down the bridge. And onto the backstretch now. Budsy just managing that gap at half a second. So, what's the fuel situation looking like at this stage, especially with these front guys who seem to be driving single file, just biding their time?
Well, it's very marginal. There's not much of a gap between anyone. But yeah, probably the guy with the most fuel is the guy at the back, which is Carbon Boy. So yeah, he's probably got the most fuel out of this group. So that'll definitely help him in the pits. But yeah, you just got to make sure he doesn't get too caught up with battling people and use it all.
Yeah, that's for sure. As we see Revs peel to the inside, looking for a move on Bumcrack. But as when he steps out of the train, he's going to lose all of his slipstream. He pulls alongside. Bumcrack tries to sweep it round the outside, keeps his foot in the door. Does he get the better run? I think he's just about there, and he's going to sweep on by. That's great defense from Bumcrack to stay ahead of Revs. Through the tunnel now. Revs looking for a late apex on Bumcrack once again. It opens the door to Freelix. Bumcrack trying to buy his time and hold on to this position. Shows the nose into the final. Oh, Revs! Oh, that's a... Oh, no! Oh! How did he not get collected? I don't think anybody will ever know. But what on earth? The car control. Oh my goodness. How has he kept that out of the wall on the left side and not got cleaned up by any of the cars coming through? Massive oversteer moment. Overcorrects it. Oh, Carbon Boy had to dart out of the way at the last moment. How has he avoided that? As we heard someone else in the background who was spinning out. Was it VF? Did both the Datsun drivers lose it at the same corner? Let's have a look. As I heard somebody spinning off in the background. Oh no, I have a feeling it was VF. Both of the Datsun drivers at the same corner. Oh no! On the same lap. Oh, as Petey Pops is somehow avoiding that accident as well. Wow. Disaster for the Datsun pairing as they drop miles down the field from where they were at the start. Budsy holds that 7/10 gap over Blind Man now. Big J looking very racy, holding that gap to 4/10 at the moment. A little bit of breathing room for Mr. Bumcrack at the moment. He's very happy to just sit there ahead of Felix. Felix not looking as racy as Revs was, so I'm correct. He'll be very happy with how that panned out for him.
Yeah, and you got to kind of feel for Revs with that little half spin earlier. That's going to have some massive championship repercussions as Big J's nipped down the inside of Blind Man there. Blind Man didn't see that coming. Pardon the pun. But no, that's a nice little move there from Big J.
Yeah, absolutely. Up into P2 now, and with an earshot of Budsy.
Yeah, it's kind of turned into a top 5 group now, with Grovel and Cardboy just kind of falling back a fraction. So yeah, yes, you really want to be in this top 5 group. They seem to be where it's at.
So all these guys up front, they're all on the soft compound, yeah?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So there's no special things going on with strategy up front, aside from what they can save in terms of fuel and tyres.
That's right. Oh, that looked pretty close for a penalty from Blind Man. Could be in a bit of trouble for that. But he seems to get away with it, so that was lucky.
Yeah, there's a very specific point on that exit where you will get a penalty and where you won't. It's not quite the edge of the curb, but it's close to that. You are allowed to use the curb, but if you flick a wheel off the edge at the wrong point, you are going to get slapped with a half-second penalty. And around here, halfway down that big straight, it's worth a lot more than half a second, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Into the first turn now. Bum crack under pressure from Felix. Felix had his nose in at the first turn for a little while there, but Bumcrack able to flat out on exit and sweep on by, or hold his advantage, I should say. Grovel now. P6 trying to fight his way back into this top 5. Yeah, so the Boss and Revs are slowly starting to reel their way back into here. The Boss currently holds the fastest lap with a 35.6, which was the fastest lap in the Category 2B race, coincidentally. Approaching lap number 10, which will be the 33% race distance. So, not much in the way of inroads at the moment. I mean, mostly single file racing. I think most are just happy. Oh, as we see a move up for the lead. Oh, look at that, Budsy! Under pressure and oh!
Jeez. Oh, I think
just
Budsy was so close to just taking out the championship leader then. That was yeah, it was pretty close. But they get away with it. And Budsy is the new leader.
Big J crosses the line.
Big J.
To begin the 10th lap. Will Budsy throw it back down the inside? He shows the nose, but I think after what happened at the hairpin, he's less than inclined to throw a haymaker back at him. So let's have a look on the JSM Accounting Action replay. Have a quick squiz at what happened. So Big J pulled to the outside. He stamped on the brake pedal late, swept around the outside, and then Budsy just kept his foot in it and made contact and then redressed the position. So, yeah, it's good that he gave it back. He held his hands up, acknowledged that he was at fault. So they continue on, play ball. Yeah, so the way this is panning out so far, it definitely is a saving race. I think this single file racing, it's really, we've seen it a lot in Category 1 this season. And I think these group Category 2 guys, they're really starting to see the benefit, which is great for their races, but not as great for our viewing, because if they're all sitting in a train and saving their fuel, they're not throwing haymakers at one another, which is what we want to see.
That's right, Leno. You've just hit the nail on the head, mate. Well done. But no, Budsy is, well, actually it nearly looks like Big J is breaking away here. He's kind of revving the car out a little bit more, and he's pushing the car a little bit harder, so maybe he's taking this opportunity to try and break away from the pack, which actually wouldn't be a bad idea. It just gives you a little bit of a buffer to everyone behind. A little bit of time to play with in the bits.
Yeah, the refuel rate, 2 litres per second. So if you're able to save just a little bit, you're going to save an absolute bucket load in the pits, which really helps you.
Well, if you save 2 litres, it'll save you a second.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Cody.
Yeah, you nearly did.
One day.
One day. You'll get there, mate.
So Blind Man, holding P3 at the moment. Bumcrack, he's closed right up to the back. And Grovel, he's sort of joined this party as well. Oh, as Revs throws it down the inside. He's going to get the boss here. And he's just going to scrape on by. So I have a feeling that the Revs, he's sort of tagged back onto the back of this paddle pack, right? But I'm going to take a guess that he's probably used a bit more fuel and tyres than the guys around him.
Sorry, who was that you're talking about?
Revs.
Revs. He's probably, he's used a little bit more, pretty on par with Boss actually, as Boss has another crack into turn 1. But yeah, Carbon Boy has a lot better tyres and fuel. And they're going to go 2 by 2 through this first sector. But Revs is going to prevail.
So you got a bit of deja vu there. Revs and Bumcrack did that back on lap number 3. Except Revs switching positions this time. He was on the outside, now on the inside, and successfully defends that position from Boss up the hill through the S's. Over the bridge now. Onto the back straight. And the Boss gets his nose right up in there.
Yeah, it does pay to be on the outside of that turn 1 when you get the inside for that next right-hander.
Yeah, that's for sure.
If you can keep it there, though. But yeah, Revs looks like he's on. Oh, hang on, we've got a move for 4th. Freelix had a look. And Blind Man's got a run on Bumcrack, so.
Also, Bumcrack's got by Blind Man there.
Yeah, we that must have just happened.
Is Blind Man able to defend the position? As we see in the background, Revs looking for a move on Carbon Boy. Bumcrack, he's able to get that done. But now as we stare back at Revs and Carbon Boy, Revs will slide on by. And it looked like he almost brought the Boss with him as well for a second. But Carbon Boy holds on to P8. As we are approaching that critical point of the race, approaching half race distance, I'd imagine we'd start to see a couple of pit stops from about now until lap 17, lap 18. That'll be the key crossover for these guys. Big J's stretched his legs to 1.3 seconds, 1.4 now over Budsy. And Bumcrack, he's got a situation on his hands. Blind Man looking to get back by. Goes defensive here, Bumcrack. Blind Man looks to the inside. Josie's nose to the outside. Bumcrack returns to the racing line. And Blind Man, he's not going to get the chance on this occasion. So yeah, the front two, they've really stretched their legs and galloped away here. Big J and Budsy. And then we've got P3 all the way down to P10 with the boss. Before we've got to look further back to Black Project, Greg's, PD Pops and VF there. So we have a massive battle pack on our hands, and it's only just going to brew and culminate in a grandstand finish, which is what we want to see to cap off the season in this Category 2 field.
That's exactly right. That's what we bought the grandstand tickets for, Leno, to get a grandstand finish.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly right. Glad we're on the same page. But yeah, it does look like Big J and Budsy have run away. But Big J's definitely using a lot more fuel than everybody. And Budsy's actually on a pretty good save. So yeah, so it's still looking like Budsy is in the box seat for this one, but yeah, we'll see how it unfolds.
Very single file racing at the moment. Not much giving the way of racing, I should say.
Yeah, that's right. When you're in these situations, we've got a few people coming in the pits, so Blind Man is the first to blink. Didn't think I'd say that today. And yeah, and
He's
coming in the pits with 42% fuel. So I'm gonna say he's gonna chuck on a set of softs and a bit of a splash, and away he goes.
So Bumcrack, he has also put a little bit of a gap on Freelix at the moment. 1.6 seconds separates those guys. I think virtue of Blind Man pitting just left a bit of a vacancy between them there. And Bumcrack is actually closing the gap to Budsy, which is interesting enough.
Yeah.
So Bumcrack's running a great race at the moment. He's in with a shot at the podium here.
I think so, yeah. It's definitely looking alright. But Freelix does have a marginal fuel save on him, so Freelix is going to close that gap up a lot in the pits.
Well, it is lap 15. We are at the halfway mark. So who's going to blink this time? Big J's in. Budsy's in. Bumcrack's in. Are they all in? Who's going to go around again? Grovel goes round. Revs goes around. Carbon Boy's in. And as the dust settles, the boss goes round again. And half the field peels it to the pits. The best fuel save of the lot was Freelix. That's interesting. 33% in the tank.
Yeah, it's a good effort from Freelix there. That'll find him a heap of time.
It's VF not having a good day in the office, unfortunately. Finds himself last on the road. So Grovel's going to get a lap added to his stats for laps led. Will Revs be able to get a move into the hairpin this time? That's the big question.
Wow, so Bumcrack is actually fueled up probably the most out of everyone, and he's found himself behind Carbon Boy. So yeah, he's got a lot of fuel on board, so he's going to be a really fast finisher. We'll keep an eye on him, how he travels in this last stint.
So Rev stays out. So he's going to have 2 lap fresher tyres than everyone else. If he can make it work, that's going to be critical. As Blind Man, where does he come out in relation to these guys in the pits? Looks like he's going to come out well and truly ahead of them.
Yeah, you'd expect him to. He had a pretty good fuel save as well.
I mean, pretty good's an understatement at the moment.
Yeah.
He's come out 5.5 seconds ahead of Budsy. How has he done this? And he's even further ahead of Big J. I don't know how Blind Man has managed to pull this off, but he is in the box seat for P1 here. Has he got enough fuel to get home?
Well, that's the thing. He's probably got the least amount by a good 5%. So, yeah, I think Budsy's got at least 10% on him. So he's going to be saving towards the end.
Yeah, okay.
Or saving this whole stint. So yeah, he's got it all to do.
And Felix is a bit of a winner here. He's up the order too, so he'll be happy with that. He's right on the back of Big J. As Bumcrack and Carbon Boy separated by a 10th at the moment. So Carbon Boy with a decent fuel save, he's back into the mix. As Revs, where is he going to fill up to? That's the big question. I don't think Revs is going to be anywhere relevant at this stage. That's not worked out well for him. He's down in 12th place. Oh dear.
Wow, how's he done that?
I mean, we've still got 2 guys yet to pit, but... And he is on 2 lap fresher tyres, but he's got probably the better half of 40 seconds to go. 20 seconds up to Blind Man there, so that's a long way. He's fallen off the back quite a bit. After his poor start, he's had to reel his way back into this one, and yeah, it's not worked out well for him. Unfortunately, he's just trying to get home on the hand he was dealt, really.
Yeah, that is a strange one. Just looking at his in-lap there, and it was, yeah, I think it was the slowest in-lap, or one of the slowest in-laps by a couple of seconds. So maybe he had a moment on his in-lap. Yeah, that's kind of what we can put it down to. That's
Potentially.
Yeah, potentially.
Potentially. As Budsy does set the quickest lap of the race, a 35.610.
As we got a change for 9. Grovel just jumps up the inside of Black Project there. Takes good move. Turn 1.
Very nicely done. That's going to be an important position. This Black Project, he's almost strategied himself back into this race. He was 5 or 6 seconds off that big battle pack, but he's known in this field and in the greater Sector 1 as someone who has an ability to just fuel save. And you'll be fuel saving and you'll come in and he'll somehow have 10% more fuel than you, and you don't know how he's done it. And now he's back into the mix, and Grovel has just overtaken him. He's ahead of the boss and Revs here, so he's thrown right back into the mix here. This season has really helped him in that it's been a low fuel multiplier, not multiplier, like a refuel rate. So he's been able to really make giant leaps in the pits by just saving that extra amount of fuel.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's how you get ahead for the second stint.
So Budsy, he's just set a quicker lap as well, 1:35.3 on that last lap. So he's set 2 quickest laps in a row. So he's absolutely flying. That gap to Blind Man is already down to just 1.4 seconds. So yeah, Blind Man, I think he's definitely fuel compromised. But I think the raw pace of Budsy is just lightning at this stage of the race, so it's going to be hard to contest with that, really.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, especially with 10 laps to go. Yeah, Blind Man's going to try pretty hard to get behind. He's actually the fuel difference is nearly equalised though, so Budsy's been using a lot to get up to Blind Man. So maybe there's like 3% between them, so it's actually evened out a lot more than I thought it would. And their tyres are very similar.
So these guys are going to buzz by the guys in the pits. And now Budsy is under a second to Blind Man ahead, so he's critically within that slipstream range, and I think it's just a matter of time before Budsy retakes the lead over Blind Man. Might not be this lap, but will happen in the near future, that's for sure. As once the dust settles, Freelix is the big winner here, up to 4th. Carbon Boy has gained a few places. We knew that was coming after the fuel differential between guys behind. Black Project's dropped down to 9th, and Revs is still sitting in 10th. So I think, yeah, Revs has fallen off the back even more. So Revs is really not having a good day in the office, it must be said. And in a race like this where it's do or die for him, he's really not shown up to the occasion, unfortunately. It's been a tough championship battle, back and forth this season, but I mean, as we get nearer and nearer to the checkered flag, it's looking like Big J. It's all his to lose. I think, don't know the exact numbers, but we are past the halfway mark, and theoretically, I think Big J has won the championship. And especially where Revs is at the moment down in P10, that's definitely not going to be enough points regardless. So, unless...
Oh, we've got to change for first here, mate. So I'm just going to cut you off. Budsy's jumped up the inside. So there you go. Change for the lead.
Very textbook move there from Budsy too. Just set him up in the slipstream, threw it down the inside at the first turn. Big J sets the quickest lap of the race on that last lap as well, which that's going to help his campaign even more if that stands. As Freelix has picked up a half-second penalty, that's going to drop him back potentially into the grasp of Mr. Bumcrack, who has his mirrors filled with a big orange car. Back up front. Budsy isn't escaping as much as I thought he would. Blind Man's just sitting in the slipstream at the moment. So potentially Blind Man, he just conceded a bit of that time trying to hold on to that second place. I mean, it's possible. Potentially just Blind Man trying to manage that gap back to Big J. Because Blind Man was the first car to pit. He pit on lap 14. So his tyres are already compromised. He's tyre compromised, fuel compromised, and he's got a charging Big J, and a couple of seconds down the road, there's also a charging Freelix. So there's lots of variables that come into this for Blind Man, and I think staying out in the lead of the race really wasn't the best call for him. So at this stage of the race, if he's just able to sit behind, buy his time, use that slipstream, save a bit of fuel, add some tools to his armory by the time we get to the last 5 laps or so, and I think he'll definitely have the tools to try and hold off a charging Big J. And if it comes down to it, even a charging Freelix. I mean, he's a while off, but with a compromised car like Blind Man's got to take everything he can get at this stage. Crack rounds corner at the bottom of the track. Onto the back straight now. Still has Carbon Boy waiting in the wings. Can Carbon Boy get close enough to make a move? I don't think so, not on this occasion. They round the hairpin and barrel down towards this first turn once again. Things closing up the top. Big J down to under 2 seconds as Blind Man sets his quickest lap of the race. Slipstream assisted. So how's Blind Man looking, Cody? Is he is his car looking a bit half used?
Yeah, his tyres are definitely worse for wear, but his fuel is it's slightly worse as well, but like it's not that bad. Like I reckon he could hang on to Budsy here, and wait for Budsy to really use up his consumables, and yeah,
Budsy
and he might be able to just hang on.
Well.
Who has?
Budsy made a bit of a mistake there as well. He lost a bucket load of time to Blind Man through the tunnels. But Blind Man just managing that gap to half a second. But somebody who isn't managing that gap is Big J, as he is absolutely crushing that gap. 1.7 seconds now. Now, Big J went the most out of these three, so I believe he's on the freshest tyres. No, Budsy and Big J both pit at the same time. I'm thinking of
yes.
revs that went longer.
Yeah. Probably Freelix has the best tyres. Just looking at that. Oh no, Bumcrack's got the best tyres. Looking at the top 5. But he is 10 seconds off. So that's a bit of an effort for him. Try and make up.
So Carbon Boy seems content just to sit behind Bumcrack and enjoy a bit of slipstream at the moment. So we're right on board with Big J. He tries to make inroads into Blind Man. 1.5 seconds the gap. No short shifting from Big J at all. We're seeing Blind Man. He's been a little laggy this whole race, but just tagging onto the back of Budsy's slipstream at the moment. It might be enough to keep Big J away as the laps tick over. 5 laps to go.
Yeah, Boss just put a nice move on Grovel there through the second sector. yeah, just darted up the inside in the middle of the S's and got it done. That was pretty neat.
Getting down to the hairpin now. Will we see some retaliation from Grovel? He thinks about it. Decides to back out. Carbon Boy and Bumcrack are still attached at the hip. These guys hammering on. Will we see a move from Carbon Boy? No. Back up front, and Blindman, he's not falling away from Budsy like we expected. Although he does dip out of slipstream range of Budsy, and Big J is knocking on the door of slipstream range as well. He needs a good exit here.
Blindman's tyres are definitely on their way out. They're he's just grabbed a half-second penalty. That's really not helping his case. So he's really got to try and play this smart and make sure Felix stays away. So he's third is his best bet here. He's just got to try and hang on to third.
Yeah, I mean, Felix is 8 seconds down the road. As we see Bumcrack and Carbon Boy, they were side by side for a second there. But yeah, Felix, he's 8 seconds down the road from Blindman. So I think Blindman, he's done everything he can. He's just got to wrap up the race and get home on the tyres that he can feel that he's got. Now, Carbon Boy, he's getting a bit antsy. He throws it down the inside of Bumcrack. He's done waiting. He's been lining this up for 5 or 6 laps. And into the first turn he goes. The APR Motorsports driver, he's going to pull alongside Bumcrack. He loves holding it around the outside. We've seen him do it on a number of occasions, but on this time it's not enough, and Carbon Boy is going to sweep on by into the S's now. He's got half a sniff there. And Carbon Boy all over the track trying to defend his position, blocking off any sniff that Bumcrack might have to throw it down the inside of the S's there. Into the tunnel, and up the hill, over the crest, down towards the bridge.
Budsy's grabbed half-second penalty. That's huge for this race, and Blindman's just going to serve his, so we'll jump on board with Big J, see how close he can get. He's not close enough for a move. But, Blindman just kind of backs him up there on the apex, so he ends up keeping P2 here. But yeah, Budsy really needs to put the hammer down for 1 lap, just to keep that gap or even extend it a little bit, just so he can hang on to first place.
Around the first turn for the 28th time. Blindman, he's lost the slipstream to Budsy, but this has been a spectacular drive from Blindman. How has he managed to keep up with these guys? I have no idea on that compromised car.
Yeah, he's been doing well.
Carbon Boy stays ahead of Bumcrack at the moment, and they're making inroads into Felix, 1.9 seconds. The Boss and Grovel. Oh, there's a bit of a glitch in the game there. There was like a random metal pillar in the middle of the road. That was a bit weird.
Anyway, Budsy's going to come up to the penalty line directly, and we'll see how close Blindman and Big J get.
I think he might have enough.
Yeah, he's gonna hang on to first, but it's gonna close up this top 3. Big J has a big slide out of that hairpin, but Blind Man is well in the slipstream here. He could, yeah, I don't know if he's close enough to have a crack, but he's going to be putting the pressure on. Also, he is fuel compromised, so he did click sixth gear quite early down that straight, so he's fuel compromised and he knows about it, so yeah, he's definitely got that to think about. Second and third place are on the fuel light, everyone, so and the leader is now, but I'd say he's got the leader. Budsy has the most fuel at top 3, so he's got a little bit more to play with than everyone else. Oh, Big J! Big J's had a big moment in the tunnel.
What's happened here? We'll have a look on the Jason Accounting action replay. See what happened. As and through the S's. And what happened? Oh, has he just lost the rear and clambers into the wall. Doesn't get any damage. He's lucky to get away without anything. But yeah, that leaves his advantage away. So now, 6/10 is the story. Going into this last lap, rounding the final corner, Blind Man sits 6/10 behind Budsy. Now the question is, can Blind Man defeat the odds and somehow snatch a race win here? In the dying embers of this race, wouldn't that be a story to cap off the season? 8.5 tenths, 1 lap to go, 4.250 kilometers around this deep forest circuit. As Budsy barrels down towards the first turn, I think Blind Man is really fuel compromised. He lost 4 tenths in a straight line there. But I think Budsy, he's absolutely monstering out a gap here. So I think Blind Man, he hasn't got enough. He might be lucky to hold on to second here. He needs to play his cards right as he almost clambers into the wall there. As I think Big J's going to get him. Yeah, I think he's gone. He hasn't got enough fuel.
Yeah, he's really struggling on the later part of this lap here. He's absolutely driving home on fumes at the moment. He might run out.
Imagine if he comes this far and doesn't even end up with a podium. He's got 7 seconds, but will that be enough? As Budsy is going to head to the final corner. So Budsy will take the race win. But the bigger story tonight is about... Oh, why is Big J pulling over? What has happened here?
I don't know. Oh, Big J's let Blind Man through.
I think there was a little bit of contact through the hairpin, and I think Big J, just to get it all out of his system, he knows that he just needs to finish. So to reduce any doubt... Oh, what? Oh, Blind Man's run out of fuel. Oh, no. So Budsy is going to take P1, but Big J, after a brilliant year so far, he's going to be the Category 2 champion. And he takes P1 for Thunder Motorsport, a burnout across the line. Freelix is going to get the podium. Carbon Boy P4, Bumcrack 5th, Boss 7th, Grovel's 7th. Blind Man, he's not even going to finish in the top 9, top 10. Revs 8th, Black Project 9th, Blind Man 10th. And it will be Greggs who drives home in P11. And we've got the last 2 drivers battling it out for the sheep stations for P12. It's VF and Petey Pops. So they come round the final corner, up towards the finish line. As the sun sets, they're going to be neck and neck, but VF is going to take it in a spectacular style. Wow. What a race.
There you go.
Oh, that could have gone any way at any point. That was an absolute cracker of a race. But yeah, so we'll just have a quick look at the race results. We might have some championship burnouts in a moment's time. But here is how they finish here for the season finale at Deep Forest. Budsy finishes P1, Big J P2 with the fastest lap, Freelix 3rd, Carbon Boy 4th, Bumcrack 5th, The Boss 6th, Grovel 7th, Revs 8th. We have Black Project 9th, Blind Man 10th, Greg's 11th, BF 12th, and Petey Pops will come home in 13th position. So, wow. That was definitely an interesting race. Might just get some burnouts. We'll see if Big J is up for it. You already left the lobby. Maybe not. We'll see if we can get some burnouts in a moment's time. As we are going to get some burnouts. Here we go. Alrighty. As we're riding on board with Big J for some burnouts. Victory burnouts. Championship burnouts. It's a staple in Sector 1 now.
It's doing third gear burnouts.
So I don't know. I think he's been practicing too much of the layout rather than his burnout technique. So he's just having a good time here. As he's driving backwards, that might come with a $2,500 fine potentially. But yeah, special thanks to everybody. Did he have TC turned on?
Yeah. Well, that would if he took that off, would help his cause, but.
But especially thanks to everybody for coming out this season. Was a good season and a great championship battle, but it could only be won by one. And that one this season is Big J for Season 10. It will forever be his first championship in Sector 1. The big number 29 takes home a title in Thunder Motorsports' debut season. Absolutely spectacular stuff. So make sure to throw your Driver of the Day votes down below for who you think drove the best today. I'm going to ask you, Goaty, who's your Driver of the Day?
Yeah, well, I know how you're not meant to give it to the leader, or the guy who won, but I'm not, so I'm going to follow by that rule. And I'm going to give it to Boss, because he had a good qualifying, and then he had a bit of a rough race, but he kept his head in it, and he made his way back up to 6th. So he actually gained a spot from where he started, so I'll give it to him.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure you gave it to the winner last week as well, so...
Yeah. No, I thought about it, but I didn't. Yeah, what about you, mate? What's your Driver of the Day?
I think I'm going to give my Driver of the Day to... Oh, it's close. It's between Bumcrack and Carbon Boy. They both drove brilliant races. Both played the strategy to a T. And, yeah, not much more can be said about it. So, I think I'm going to give mine to Bumcrack. He deserves it. So, not seeing many come through the chat, but I'm just going to take it. I'm not going to take it, actually. So, yeah, what a race. Was some brilliant stuff. Great night of racing. And if you enjoyed the racing and you're new around here, make sure to come back next week for the Category 1 season finale, where we do have a tie for the championship lead. It is Goaty and Jeesh that are tied on points, and there's a little bit of a gentleman's agreement going on that if they somehow end up on even points going into or finishing the final round at the end of the season, they will do a Rocket League 1v1 for the title. Isn't that right, Goaty?
Yeah. But if we tie in that, we're actually going to have a punch up out the front of KFC.
Fair enough. Which KFC though is the big question.
Well, that's undecided yet.
Undecided. Fair enough. So thanks for coming out, everybody. It was brilliant to see everybody. And we've come to the end of another brilliant season. And yeah, so we've got one more round as of next week, and then we're done for the season. And we'll have our awards night, and there'll be more information on season 11 coming soon. So yeah, anything else to say before we sign things off tonight, Cody?
No, I think I've said everything I wanted to say.
It's good. Yeah, but special thanks to everybody for coming out tonight, supporting the stream, smashing the like button, smashing subscribe. Always love to see new faces and familiar ones as well. Keeps things running, keeps the lights on, keeps the bills paid, sort of thing. But anyway, that's Lenosis and Goaty. We're going to sign things off for the Category 2 Deep Forest season finale of Season 10. Thanks for coming, guys, and we'll catch you all next week. Bye.